Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving deep into the science of aging and exploring how we can look and feel younger from the inside out. We're bombarded with creams and lotions promising eternal youth, but we're going beyond those surface-level fixes.
Exactly. We'll be looking at the root causes of aging, the cellular processes that contribute to it, and how we can influence those through our lifestyle and dietary choices.
So let's talk about sugar. We know it's linked to various health issues, but how does it impact aging at a cellular level?
Well, one of the key mechanisms is through the formation of what are called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short.
AGs.
Yes. AGs are harmful compounds that form when sugar molecules bind to proteins in our bodies.
I'm trying to visualize that.
Think of a piece of bread browning in the toaster. That's a visual representation of glycation.
Okay, so like that browning process.
Right. And in a similar way, when we consume excess sugar, it reacts with the proteins in our tissues and leads to the accumulation of these AGEs. And these AGEs contribute to inflammation and accelerate the aging process.
So it's not just about avoiding cakes and candy, but also all those hidden sugars in processed foods.
Precisely. A diet high in processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and sugary drinks significantly contributes to AG formation.
And we can help slow down that process by reducing those foods.
Exactly. We can protect our bodies from some of that age-related damage.
Okay. Now, what about ALEs? I've heard that term as well. Are they related to AGs?
Yes, they are. ALEs, or advanced lipidation end products, are formed similarly. Instead of sugar binding to protein, though, it binds to fat molecules.
Ah, so it's impacting the fats.
It is, and this also contributes to inflammation and cellular damage, and ultimately accelerates the aging process.
Sugar seems like a double whammy then.
Yeah.
It impacts both our proteins and our fats. What other factors play a significant role in how we age?
Well, let's talk about oxidation.
Oxidation.
Yes, it's a natural process that happens in our bodies, similar to how metal rusts when it's exposed to oxygen. And in our bodies, oxidation is driven by what we call free radicals.
Okay, free radicals. Those are the unstable molecules that damage our cells.
They are. And that damage leads to aging and a whole host of other health issues.
I've always struggled to understand free radicals, to be honest. Can you explain them in a more relatable way?
Sure. Imagine free radicals as these tiny, highly reactive molecules that are constantly on the hunt for an electron to stabilize themselves.
So they're missing something and they want to steal it.
Right. And in their quest to find that electron, they attack our healthy cells and steal electrons from them. And this causes damage to the cells.
And this damage builds up over time and contributes to those visible signs of aging that we see.
Exactly. Wrinkles, fine lines, age spots, but also to internal aging that we don't see.
So how can we protect ourselves from those damaging free radicals? I mean, it's happening all the time, right?
It is. And that's where antioxidants come into play. Antioxidants are like the superheroes of our cells. They neutralize free radicals by donating an electron without becoming unstable themselves.
Okay, so they can give up an electron without causing more damage.
Exactly. Think of antioxidants as our body's defense system against what we call oxidative stress.
It sounds like a diet rich in antioxidants is pretty crucial then for healthy aging.
It really is. And it's not just about the antioxidants we consume through food. Our bodies actually produce antioxidants naturally.
We make our own.
We do. And these are called endogenous antioxidants. Yeah. And we can actually increase their production through things like exercise, fasting, and getting quality sleep.
Wow, so we can make more of them ourselves. That's pretty powerful. Are there any particular foods that stand out as being high in these antioxidants?
Absolutely. Colorful fruits and vegetables, especially berries, are packed with antioxidants. Green tea, dark chocolate, and nuts are also great sources.
This makes me think about something I read once about Sardinian shepherds. They smoke heavily, yet they tend to live incredibly long lives.
I know about them. It's fascinating.
Their diet is rich in milk and cheese from goats and sheep that graze on these antioxidant-rich plants in the mountains. And it's thought that this diet plays a huge role in counteracting those negative effects from their smoking.
It's a perfect example of how a balanced approach, including lots of antioxidants, can really help mitigate the damage from potentially harmful lifestyle choices.
That's really interesting. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about detoxification. When people hear detox, they often think about cleanses and detox diets. What does detoxification really mean in terms of aging?
Detoxification is simply the process of removing harmful substances from our bodies, and our liver is the main organ responsible for this. It's like a filter. It processes toxins and eliminates them from our system.
So a healthy liver is really important for looking and feeling younger then.
Absolutely. When our liver is functioning well, it efficiently removes those toxins. And that impacts everything from hormone balance to digestion, which all play a role in how we age.
And what happens when our liver isn't functioning optimally?
Well, then we get a buildup of toxins, which can manifest as things like skin problems, fatigue, and even accelerated aging.
Okay, so what can we do to support our liver function and promote healthy detoxification?
The first thing is to minimize our exposure to those toxins in the first place. So, limiting alcohol, avoiding processed foods, and choosing natural cleaning and personal care products. And then there are certain foods that can help support liver function.
Like what?
Things like cruciferous vegetables, broccoli and cauliflower, leafy greens, and beets are great choices.
So it's about reducing our toxic load and giving our liver the nutrients it needs to do its job.
Exactly.
Now, I've heard a lot about autophagy lately. Can you explain what that is and how it relates to aging?
Autophagy is a fascinating process where our body essentially cleans house at a cellular level.
What do you mean?
It's like a natural recycling system where damaged cell components get broken down and then reused to build new, healthy cells.
Wow, so our body can break down those old parts and make new ones.
It can. You can think of it like our body's way of decluttering and rejuvenating from within.
So how do we get this process going? How do we promote autophagy?
Fasting is one of the most effective ways to trigger autophagy.
So when we abstain from food for a certain period, our body shifts into cleaning mode.
It does, and it starts breaking down those old and damaged cells and recycling the components.
That's amazing. And what about other ways to boost autophagy besides fasting?
Certain foods can help support autophagy. Green tea, turmeric, and coffee, for example. And exercise also plays a role. It increases cellular energy demands, and that promotes the breakdown of damaged components.
Interesting. What about things that hinder autophagy?
A diet high in processed foods and sugar can hinder this process.
So again, what we eat really impacts these cellular processes.
It really does. Prioritizing whole, unprocessed foods is key.
Okay, now let's talk about another topic that can be confusing, fats. There's so much conflicting information out there. What are the different types of fat and how do they affect aging?
Well, it's important to remember that not all fats are created equal, and understanding the difference is really important for healthy aging. Let's start with saturated fat.
Saturated fat has gotten a bad rap for so many years.
It has, but it's actually essential for our bodies. It's a key component of our cell membranes, plays a role in hormone production, and provides a stable source of energy.
So maybe those low-fat diets that were so popular weren't the best idea.
You're right, eliminating saturated fat can actually lead to a lot of health issues, including hormonal imbalances and problems with cognitive function.
So what are good sources of healthy saturated fat?
Coconut oil, butter from grass-fed cows, and fatty cuts of meat from pasture-raised animals are all good choices.
So we don't need to avoid fat altogether, just choose the right kind. What about unsaturated fats?
Unsaturated fats are also important, but again, it's about choosing the right types. Monounsaturated fats are beneficial for heart health and overall well-being.
And those are found in...
Things like olive oil, avocados, and nuts. Polyunsaturated fats are essential too, but we need to be mindful of the source. Omega-3 fatty acids have powerful anti-inflammatory properties and support brain health.
And where do we find those?
Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and things like walnuts.
So we want to make sure we're getting enough of those omega-3s.
We do. And on the flip side, we want to be mindful of omega-6 fatty acids, which are abundant in many vegetable oils, things like corn oil and soybean oil.
And those can be a problem.
They can promote inflammation if we consume too much of them. So it's about striking a balance between omega-3 and omega-6.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not as simple as just good fats and bad fats. It's more nuanced than that.
It is. It's about understanding the different types of fats and choosing healthy sources. And while we're on the topic of fats, let's not forget about another important fat-soluble vitamin that plays a crucial role in aging. Vitamin A.
Vitamin A. That's known for its skin health benefits, right?
It is. Both internally and externally, vitamin A supports cell growth and repair, which is really important for maintaining healthy skin. It also helps protect our skin from sun damage and promotes collagen production, which keeps our skin firm and elastic.
So getting enough vitamin A is essential for that youthful complexion. Where do we find it?
One of the richest sources is liver, especially from grass-fed animals. Cod liver oil is another excellent source, and it provides both vitamin A and D. Other good sources include egg yolks, butter, and dairy from grass-fed cows.
Okay, good to know. And speaking of skin health, we can't leave out sunlight. There's a lot of mixed messages about whether it's good or bad for our skin.
Right. Sunlight does have both beneficial and harmful effects, and finding the right balance is key. On one hand, moderate sun exposure is crucial for vitamin D production, and vitamin D is important for things like bone health, immune function, and even our mood. Sunlight also provides those therapeutic infrared rays that can penetrate deep into our tissues and promote healing.
So some sun is good.
It is. But on the other hand, too much sun exposure, especially without protection, can lead to sunburn, premature aging, and an increased risk of skin cancer.
So it sounds like we need to find a balance between getting enough sun for vitamin D and protecting our skin from the harmful rays.
Exactly. It's about listening to your body. If you're starting to feel hot or your skin is turning pink, it's time to get out of the sun or cover up. Things like wearing a hat, protective clothing, and using a natural sunscreen when needed can really help to minimize that sun damage while still allowing you to enjoy the benefits. It seems like we've covered quite a bit of ground here talking about all the different factors that influence how we age from the inside out.
It is fascinating how everything from what we eat to how much sun we get affects our cells and ultimately contributes to the aging process.
It really is. And as we've been talking about, true youthfulness isn't just about covering up the signs of aging. It's about getting to those root causes and addressing them with a more holistic approach.
Right, nourishing our bodies from within, supporting those natural detoxification processes, and just making choices that support cellular rejuvenation.
Exactly. And it's empowering to realize that we actually have a lot of control over how we age. When we understand the science and implement some practical strategies, we can slow down that aging process and enhance our overall well-being.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It's about being proactive rather than just waiting for things to go wrong.
I agree. Prevention is key. And knowledge is power. The more we understand about how our bodies work, the better equipped we are to make those choices that support our health and our vitality over the long term.
We've talked about so much today, the impact of sugar, free radicals, antioxidants, detoxification, the importance of choosing the right fats. If you had to pick just one key takeaway, what would you want our listeners to remember from our deep dive today?
I think the most important thing to remember is that aging is a complex process influenced by so many factors, but a lot of them we can actually control. And by understanding those factors and making informed choices, we can slow down the aging process and really enjoy vibrant health for years to come.
It's about shifting our mindset from fear to empowerment. We have more control than we often realize.
We do. And it's never too late to start making positive changes. Even small, consistent adjustments to our diet and lifestyle can have a huge impact over time.
Small steps lead to big changes. What advice would you give to someone who's feeling a bit overwhelmed and doesn't know where to start?
I would say start with one area that resonates with you. Maybe it's reducing sugar intake or incorporating more antioxidant-rich foods. Maybe it's about establishing a solid sleep routine. Just pick one area and make gradual changes. Build on your successes as you go.
One step at a time. Celebrate those small wins.
Exactly. And be patient with yourself. It takes time to undo old habits and establish new ones. Focus on feeling good, enjoying the journey.
It's about progress, not perfection.
I love that. Each step we take towards a healthier lifestyle is a step towards a more vibrant and youthful future.
And speaking of resources to help people on that journey, we have a fantastic one to share with our listeners. For anyone who's looking for more information on the topics we've discussed, from AGEs to antioxidants to tips for detoxification and choosing healthy fats, head over to yourhealthfacts.com. There's a wealth of information there to support you.
We're always adding new content and resources to empower you to take control of your health.
So before we wrap up, I have one final thought-provoking question for our listeners to ponder. We focus a lot on the physical aspects of aging today, but what about the mental and emotional aspects? How does our mindset, our outlook on life, impact how we age?
That's a great question, and it's an important part of aging that often gets overlooked. Our mental and emotional state really does play a huge role in how we experience getting older.
We've all heard that saying, you're only as old as you feel. Is there any truth to that? Is there any science behind it?
There is. Studies have actually shown that there's a strong connection between having a positive outlook on life and longevity. People who have a more positive mindset, they actually tend to live longer, healthier lives.
So it's not just about feeling younger, it actually might help you live longer. How does that work? How does a positive mindset affect our physical health?
Well, it works in a few ways. When we're feeling happy and optimistic, we're more likely to make healthier choices. Things like eating nutritious foods, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep.
It makes sense. You feel better, so you want to take care of yourself.
Exactly. And we also tend to manage stress more effectively, which has a big impact on our hormone balance and our overall well-being.
So it's like a positive feedback loop. A positive mindset leads to healthier choices, which then further enhances our well-being and promotes longevity.
That's it. It's a holistic approach that recognizes that our mental, emotional, and physical health are all interconnected.
It's a reminder that aging gracefully isn't just about erasing wrinkles or trying to look younger. It's about feeling younger and embracing life with a positive attitude.
Absolutely. Things like cultivating joy, managing stress, fostering those meaningful connections, those are all essential ingredients for a long, healthy, and vibrant life.
It's about living fully at every age and appreciating the unique gifts that each stage of life brings.
Well said. And remember, aging is a privilege that not everyone gets to experience. So let's embrace it with gratitude and curiosity and focus on making the most of each day.
What a beautiful thought to end on. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and insights with us today. It's been a truly enlightening deep dive into the world of aging.
It's been my pleasure. I always enjoy having these conversations and empowering people to take control of their health and well-being.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey. We hope you've gained some valuable knowledge and some practical tips to help you look and feel your best from the inside out. And if you're looking for more information and resources to support you on your journey, be sure to check out yourhealthfacts.com. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay well.